For billions of years, there has been a place larger than all continents combined silently preserving life. That is the Pacific Ocean, covering nearly half of Earth's oceans. Its story does not begin with giant creatures, but with things invisible to the naked eye. Just below the surface, light begins to fade meter by meter. Yet, in this dim zone, trillions of tiny organisms are working ceaselessly. They have no familiar names, but without them, nothing could survive. Cyanobacteria, blue-green bacteria appearing 2.7 billion years ago, were the first organisms to release oxygen into Earth's atmosphere. Every breath you take now comes partly from the ocean, from these invisible organisms. They are so small that millions fit in a single drop of seawater. Each spring, when light and nutrients converge, phytoplankton explode exponentially. From space, they form vast ribbons of blue and emerald on the ocean surface. This is Earth's largest harvest, and no human farmer planted it. Next in the food chain is zooplankton, tiny organisms that work tirelessly. They eat phytoplankton, converting solar energy into flesh and protein. This is the second link, and without it, the entire ocean would collapse. Krill, small shrimp only a few centimeters long, form schools billions strong, stretching over kilometers. Their biomass surpasses that of all humans on Earth. These massive krill swarms feed the largest creatures that have ever existed. As night falls on the ocean surface, a completely different world awakens below. Hundreds of species create their own light, a phenomenon called bioluminescence. In the ocean's total darkness, this is their language, lure, and mating signal. This is the foundation, invisible but indispensable. Every large creature you will encounter on this journey depends on what has just been described. Ocean life does not begin with the great, it begins with the unimaginably small. The Great Barrier Reef, the largest architectural structure created by living organisms on Earth, stretches over 2,300 kilometers along Australia's coast. From space, it is the only biological structure visible to the naked eye. Yet its builders are so tiny you could hold them in your hand. Coral polyps, only a few millimeters long, secrete a hard calcium skeleton around their bodies. When they die, the skeleton remains, and the next generation builds on top. Layer upon layer over thousands of years, this is how a coral reef is formed. Coral reefs cover less than 1% of the ocean floor, yet they are home to over 25% of all marine species. This is the densest underwater city on the planet, with every crevice a dwelling, every coral layer a neighborhood. No architect designed it, nature did it over millions of generations. In this city, no one lives alone. Clownfish live in poisonous anemones. In return, they clean and protect their host. Coral reefs are a symphony of thousands of such relationships. complex, delicate, and with no member expendable. Parrotfish do more than eat coral, they help recreate beaches. Each parrotfish can grind and excrete hundreds of kilograms of calcium per year, forming the fine white sand you see on tropical beaches. Even feeding in the ocean is part of a larger system. But this city faces a silent crisis. When ocean temperatures rise, corals expel the symbiotic algae in their tissues, losing color and their food source. Coral bleaching is not merely loss of color, it is the cry for help of a dying city. But not all is lost. Across the Pacific, hundreds of teams of scientists are transplanting young corals onto steel frames underwater. They are trying to achieve in a few years what nature takes thousands of years to accomplish, a silent and hopeful race. Coral reefs are proof that cooperation, not competition, is the foundation of a sustainable ecosystem. Thousands of species, millions of relationships, all operating in order without any central control. This is one of the greatest wonders life has ever created. Green sea turtles have existed on Earth for 110 million years, before the dinosaurs went extinct, before the Himalayas formed. They travel thousands of kilometers across oceans, returning to the exact beach where they were born, using Earth's magnetic field. Each turtle is a living compass, carrying a map of the ocean within it. Manta rays, with wingspans up to 7 meters, glide through the ocean like unpowered aircraft. They move along ocean currents, from tropical to temperate zones, following plankton reproduction cycles. They have the largest brains among fish. It is no coincidence they choose such optimal migratory routes. Whale sharks, the largest fish in the ocean, can grow up to 12 meters but feed only on plankton and small fish. They travel tens of thousands of kilometers each year, following plankton blooms detectable from afar. The strangest thing, no one knows where they reproduce, one of the greatest mysteries of marine science. Dolphins do more than just move, they travel. They ride the bow of ships not out of fear but playful curiosity, using the ship's pressure waves to glide effortlessly. This is a rare example of an animal playing with its environment purely for joy. These creatures do not move randomly. They follow fixed routes shaped by ocean currents over millions of years. The Kuroshio Current flows from the Philippines to Japan, carrying heat, nutrients, and organisms seasonally. The ocean does not stand still. It continuously pumps itself like a living body. Every moving creature performs a function, transporting energy and nutrients from surplus areas to those in deficit. They form the ocean's transportation system, unconscious, yet more efficient than any human-built logistics network. When a species disappears, these routes collapse, and the system must rebalance itself. To hunt a school of millions of sardines, dolphins do not act alone. They coordinate. One group swims around, gradually compressing the fish into a dense ball. Another group waits to strike. No commands, no clear leader, just perfect mutual understanding developed over thousands of hours living together. Dolphins communicate through a complex sound system. Each individual has a unique signature whistle, like a personal name. They call to each other and can identify specific individuals from a distance. This is the only behavior in nature, besides humans, known to use individual identity. Blue-ringed octopuses have no backbone and no centralized brain. 2/3 of their neurons are in their arms. Yet they solve puzzles, open jars, recognize individual humans, and express preferences. This proves intelligence does not need to resemble our own. Humpback whale songs can travel thousands of kilometers underwater. Remarkably, their songs change every year, spreading from one whale to another like a cultural trend. This is the first evidence of horizontal cultural transmission in nature, not parent to offspring, but neighbor to neighbor. In Shark Bay, Australia, researchers observed mother dolphins teaching their young to use sponges as tools, a behavior passed through learning, not instinct. This is tool use and intergenerational knowledge transmission, two traits once considered unique to humans. The boundary between us and the natural world is not as clear as we think. The blue whale, the largest creature ever to exist on this planet, weighs up to 180 tons and is longer than 3 buses lined up. Its heart is as large as a small car, and its heartbeat can be heard 3 kilometers underwater. No dinosaur or creature in Earth's history has ever reached this size. And this giant survives on krill, tiny shrimp no bigger than a finger. Each day, a blue whale consumes about 4 tons of krill, equivalent to 40 million tiny creatures. This reminds us, the true power of the ocean lies not in the strongest, but in the most numerous. Even whale feces play an essential role. When whales dive deep to eat krill and resurface to breathe, they release iron and nitrogen-rich feces at the sunlit surface. This nourishes phytoplankton, increases CO2 uptake, and closes the ocean's grandest nutrient cycle. If the blue whale is the largest creature, the orca is the most powerful coordinator. They sit at the top of the food chain. No species hunts orcas, not even great white sharks. But what truly sets them apart is not their strength. It is how they use it. Orcas hunt using strategy, not pure instinct. A pod in Norway rolls herring into a bubble vortex before attacking. Another pod in Antarctica simultaneously creates waves to push seals off ice. These tactics vary between orca families and are passed down over generations as cultural traditions. In an orca pod, the oldest individual, often a postmenopausal female, holds knowledge leadership. She remembers the locations of salmon schools from decades past, guiding the pod through lean seasons. Old age in the orca world is not a burden. It is an irreplaceable asset. In just 70 years, humans have fished over 90% of the large fish species in the oceans. Bottom trawling, the most common fishing method worldwide, sweeps away all organisms and seabed structures that nature takes centuries to form. What we call harvesting is in fact destroying our own food production foundation. In the middle of the Pacific Ocean exists an unwanted eighth continent, a plastic patch 3 times the size of France. Plastic does not disappear. It breaks into microplastics, enters organisms' bodies, moves up the food chain, and ends on our plates. Every year, over 8 million tons of plastic enter the ocean, equivalent to 1 truckload per minute. Albatrosses fly thousands of kilometers to feed their chicks, and inadvertently bring back plastic fragments they mistake for food. Millions of seabirds, sea turtles, and whales die each year from ingesting or entanglement in plastic. They do not know we made this. They are merely living their lives in a changing ocean. The ocean absorbs about 30% of human-emitted CO2, and this is changing its chemistry. When CO2 dissolves in seawater, it forms carbonic acid, making the ocean increasingly acidic. Shell-forming organisms, from oysters to corals to crabs, must contend with an ocean slowly dissolving their shells. For millions living on small Pacific islands, climate change is not a future forecast. It is happening now. Rising sea levels, stronger storms, declining fish stocks. Communities that have existed for thousands of years face the threat of disappearance. They contribute least to climate change, yet bear the first and heaviest consequences. But humans are not only destroyers, they also have the ability to recognize and repair. Across the Pacific, thousands of scientists monitor, research, and advocate for what remains. This is a race between awareness and inertia, and it has not yet been decided. The Mariana Trench is nearly 11 kilometers deep, deeper than the height of Mount Everest. This is a place with no light, pressures 1,000 times that of the surface, and temperatures near freezing. Yet even here, life finds a foothold. At the bottom of the Mariana Trench, amphipods, tiny crustaceans, were found with their bodies full of microplastics. Where no human has ever set foot, where only advanced submarines can reach, plastic has arrived first. This is perhaps the most sobering reality of human impact on the ocean. Sea slugs, nudibranchs, are tiny shell-less creatures, living completely exposed. Yet their bright colors serve as a warning. They absorb toxins from their prey and repurpose them as defensive weapons. Thousands of species exist, each with its own coloration and survival strategy, and we still do not fully understand any of them. At hydrothermal vents on the deep seafloor, there is no light, no photosynthesis, yet life persists via chemical synthesis. Bacteria convert sulfur into energy, feeding 2-meter tube worms, blind shrimp, and crabs. This may provide clues about how life began on Earth and how it could exist on other planets. From cyanobacteria to blue whales, each creature on this journey does not exist independently. They are nodes in a vast network, and the network is only strong if each node remains intact. We do not stand outside this network. We are part of it, whether we like it or not. The Pacific Ocean existed long before humans appeared, and it has the capacity to recover if we let it. The question is not whether the ocean needs us, but whether we are wise enough to realize that we need the ocean. For the ocean is not just a habitat for creatures. It is the beating heart of this planet, and that heartbeat depends on our choices today. At the far end of Earth, a frozen continent waits in silence. 6 months of darkness are ending. The sun is returning. And with that light, life is preparing to explode. This is the Antarctic summer, the shortest and most intense season on Earth. The sun does not set for many continuous weeks. Every creature uses every precious hour of light. The Southern Ocean surrounds this continent like a vast ecological ring. Cold currents lift nutrients from the deep ocean to the surface. That is what creates one of the richest marine environments on Earth. As temperatures rise slightly, the sea ice begins to retreat. Millions of square kilometers of open water are released within weeks. This is the opening signal for a vast food chain. Sunlight penetrates the cold water and triggers an explosion of phytoplankton. They are too small for the human eye to see, yet their numbers reach into the trillions. They form the foundation that feeds the entire ocean. From space, the bloom looks like green clouds drifting beneath the sea. A single bloom can cover an area the size of an entire country. The Southern Ocean is breathing and awakening. Phytoplankton draws in krill, tiny creatures only a few centimeters long. Yet they appear in unimaginable numbers, reaching 500 million tons across the Southern Ocean. Krill is the heartbeat of this ecosystem. Each krill weighs less than 2 grams, no bigger than a child's little finger. Yet they gather in swarms so dense they can redden entire stretches of sea. Without krill, Antarctica would become an ocean desert. Krill swarms migrate vertically each day, rising to feed on algae at night and descending to escape predators by day. This journey is repeated millions of times every hour. They are among the greatest biological forces on Earth. They come from thousands of kilometers away, the largest animals ever to live on this planet. Blue whales can weigh more than 150 tons and stretch longer than 2 buses placed end to end. Antarctica is the feast they cross oceans to reach. Each day, an adult blue whale can swallow up to 40 million krill. Its mouth opens like a cavern, straining water through thick baleen plates. It is one of the most efficient feeding systems in the animal kingdom. This natural filter evolved over 30 million years. No teeth, no chewing, only filtering and swallowing. With every gulp, millions of tiny lives disappear. Humpback whales arrive in Antarctica with a remarkable hunting secret. They cooperate in groups, rare for animals that often live apart. Each individual takes a separate role in the encircling attack. Bubble net feeding is one of nature's most complex hunting behaviors. A lead whale circles beneath the swarm, blowing bubbles to build a wall of air. Krill panic and bunch together, and that is when the whales strike. The final strike happens in less than 2 seconds. Yet each surge upward captures thousands of krill. This perfect coordination is the collective intelligence of whales. Those long white fins resemble wings of a creature flying underwater. Humpback whales are among the farthest migrating marine mammals, traveling up to 8,000 kilometers each way. Antarctica is the final destination in their search for life. An Adelie penguin colony can hold 500,000 birds. They return to the same rocky nesting grounds year after year. Their calls rise like a city waking to life. Male Adelies offer pebbles to mates as a form of courtship. A pebble nest keeps eggs above the cold, wet ground. Every stone is valuable property, and sometimes stolen from neighboring nests. Underwater, penguins transform completely, no longer clumsy on land. They can swim at 25 kilometers per hour and dive to 150 meters. Wings no longer used for flight become perfect paddles of the sea. The chinstrap penguin is named for the black line beneath its chin like a helmet strap. They are among the noisiest Antarctic penguins. Their colonies can reach millions, strange megacities of birds. Penguin feathers are waterproof, trapping air like thermal armor. Water at -2 degrees Celsius cannot penetrate this natural defense. Beneath the surface, they move like black and white bullets. The emperor penguin is the largest penguin, nearly 1.2 meters tall and weighing up to 40 kilograms. Its orange-yellow chest and neck markings are unmistakable. It is a living symbol of endurance in extreme conditions. Emperor chicks hatch in the brutal winter, not in summer. They are kept warm on their father's feet through the first months of life. Outside may be -60 degrees Celsius, while inside the brood pouch it is +36. Once large enough, emperor chicks gather into nursery groups called creches to stay warm together. Parents return from the sea and identify their own chick by its unique call. Each chick has a voice print as distinct as a fingerprint. The leopard seal is one of Antarctica's apex predators, weighing up to 500 kilograms. Its name comes from the dark spots scattered across its silver-gray coat. Beneath the ice, it waits like a living trap. The moment a penguin enters the water, the leopard seal strikes. Its reaction is faster than the blink of an eye, reaching speeds of 40 kilometers per hour. Its success rate during pursuit is remarkably high. Despite the name, the crab-eater seal does not eat crabs. It feeds on krill and is among the greatest krill consumers in the ocean. Its teeth evolved into a perfect filtering tool, like miniature whale baleen. When the crab-eater closes its jaws, water escapes while krill remain trapped inside. It is one of the strangest dental structures in the animal kingdom. Independent evolution created a solution similar to whales, but in its own way. The Weddell seal can hold its breath for 80 minutes and dive 600 meters deep. It uses its teeth to maintain breathing holes in the ice throughout winter. It is one of the southernmost marine mammals living year-round near Antarctica. The wandering albatross can travel thousands of kilometers without landing. It harvests the wind, rising and falling in long glides, turning storms into energy. The Southern Ocean, with its fierce winds, is paradise for this bird. As the sun begins to set, it will not rise again for many months. Temperatures fall below -40 degrees Celsius, with winds reaching 200 kilometers per hour. Antarctica enters winter, the harshest long night on Earth. In winter, sea ice expands by another 19 million square kilometers each year. That is nearly twice the size of the Antarctic continent itself. It is one of the greatest physical transformations on the planet. In blizzards, male emperor penguins incubate eggs with no food. They rotate slowly through the crowd so every bird gets a turn in the warm center. This behavior is not taught. It is an instinct shaped by millions of years of evolution. In the darkness of winter, the sky answers with the southern lights. These dancing ribbons are charged particles from the sun colliding with the atmosphere. For penguins below, it is the only light in the long night. Beneath the ice, the world is entirely different from the frozen surface above. Water remains near -1.8 degrees Celsius, cold but survivable. Weddell seals move through this realm as if inside a vast cathedral of ice. Life does not stop in winter, it simply moves deeper. On the Antarctic seafloor, vividly colored creatures survive at -2 degrees Celsius. Evolution here is slow, yet stranger and more unique than anywhere else. During the 65 days of incubation, the male eats nothing at all. He survives on stored fat, losing several kilograms each week. It is the longest fasting feat of any bird on Earth. The Larsen Sea ice shelf fractured in 2017, releasing an iceberg larger than Belgium. Antarctic temperatures are rising 3 times faster than the global average. What took thousands of years to form is now disappearing within decades. The sound of collapsing ice shelves can travel for tens of kilometers. Each event may raise global sea levels by a few millimeters. Small numbers, but together they build into disaster for millions of people. Many Adelie penguin colonies on the Antarctic Peninsula have declined by up to 70%. Ice melts faster than they can adapt, flooding nests before eggs hatch. The food web is also disrupted as krill decline with weakening phytoplankton blooms. Commercial harvesting of krill has risen sharply over recent decades. Krill is used for animal feed and omega-3 extraction. But removing too much krill means removing the foundation of the entire ecosystem. Whales grow thinner as krill supplies decline, with body fat reserves dropping sharply compared with 20 years ago. They must travel farther and spend more energy to feed. Blue whales once came close to extinction, and that danger has never fully disappeared. Scientists drill deep into Antarctic ice to read 800,000 years of climate history. Each layer preserves the memory of an ancient atmosphere. And for the first time in that entire record, CO2 has risen beyond 420 ppm. Antarctica has warmed by 3 degrees Celsius since the 1950s. A small number, yet for this fragile ecosystem, it marks the difference between survival and disappearance. A tipping point is approaching, and no one knows exactly when it will be crossed. These eyes know nothing of emissions or policy. They know only the need for food, warmth, and a patch of ice to stand on. Yet even these simple needs are threatened by choices made on the other side of Earth. Blue whales were hunted to the edge of extinction, with 99% of their population killed in the 20th century. Then humanity stopped, and they began to recover. It is proof that nature can heal when given the chance. In 2016, 24 nations agreed to create the world's largest marine protected area in Antarctica. More than 1.5 million square kilometers were shielded from commercial fishing. It remains one of humanity's greatest conservation victories. Krill are tiny, yet they help the whole planet breathe. Through photosynthesis and the food web, the Southern Ocean absorbs nearly 40% of global CO2. Protecting krill means protecting our own climate system. Antarctica does not need humanity to survive. But humanity needs Antarctica to regulate climate, stabilize sea levels, and preserve biodiversity. We and this frozen continent are bound together. The sun will set and winter will return. But the real question is this: when the sun rises next year, will the world below still be the same? Antarctica's future is not written here, it is written by the choices we make today. Beneath the surface we see, there exists another world, larger than any continent, darker than any night humanity has ever known. This is the ocean, and these are the creatures that rule it. The ocean covers 71% of Earth's surface and more than 95% of all living space on the planet. Yet humanity has only touched the surface of its mystery. Below, colossal lives unfold in silence. Light disappears at a depth of 200 meters. Beyond that lies the kingdom of eternal darkness, where the largest creatures ever to live on this planet drift silently through centuries. They do not need to display their power. Every movement carries millions of years of evolution. They are living proof that nature, when left untouched, can achieve greatness beyond imagination. From the Arctic to Antarctica, from the Pacific Ocean to the Indian Ocean, their migrations draw an invisible map across the planet. No borders, no passports, only instinct and memory. These are the giants of the ocean. And their story begins here. The humpback whale, Megaptera novianglii, possesses the longest pectoral fins relative to body size in the animal kingdom. Reaching up to 16 meters in length and weighing 30 tons, it still moves through the water with astonishing grace. Why do they breach? No one truly knows. Perhaps to communicate, to remove parasites, or simply because they choose to. For a brief moment, 30 tons of living muscle rise completely out of the ocean, a sight so unreal that even witnesses struggle to believe it. They feed by charging into dense swarms of krill and small fish, swallowing enormous volumes of water before filtering it through baleen plates. A single feeding session can last for hours, consuming thousands of kilograms of food each day during the Arctic summer. But what truly makes humpback whales extraordinary is their song. The males sing continuously, for hours, sometimes days, producing complex melodies that can travel thousands of kilometers beneath the sea. Their songs evolve with every season and every year. New patterns spread through populations like musical trends, learned, transformed, and shared from one whale to another. It is a form of culture, a civilization hidden beneath the ocean. Every year, they undertake one of the longest migrations of any mammal on Earth, nearly 10,000 kilometers from nutrient-rich polar waters to warm tropical seas where new life begins. A journey without maps, guided only by instinct and memory. Calves are born underwater and immediately pushed to the surface by their mothers for their very first breath. For nearly a year, they drink up to 200 liters of milk every day, gaining hundreds of kilograms each month as they prepare for the long life ahead. In a place where most life cannot survive, beneath the drifting ice of the Arctic, the beluga whale has found its home. Their pure white color is no accident. It is evolution perfected, camouflage for a frozen world. They are called the canaries of the sea because they produce hundreds of different sounds, whistles, clicks, chirps, and pulsing calls. Unlike most whales, belugas can move their facial muscles, creating expressions that seem almost human. Every summer, thousands of belugas gather in river estuaries to molt, socialize, and reproduce. These are among the largest gatherings of marine mammals on Earth, a noisy celebration filled with layers of sound and communication. Climate change is shrinking their world. Ice melts faster, ships enter waters once defined by silence, and artificial noise drowns out their delicate acoustic conversations. The belugas are listening, and what they hear is a world changing too quickly. Nothing on Earth, not dinosaurs, not any creature ever discovered, has ever been larger than the blue whale. Reaching up to 33 meters in length and weighing 180 tons, its heart is as large as a car and can be heard beating from 3 kilometers away. The ocean's greatest paradox: the largest creature on Earth survives by feeding on some of the smallest. Every day, a blue whale consumes up to 4 tons of krill, tiny shrimp-like creatures no larger than a finger, to sustain its immense living body. The calls of the blue whale are the loudest sounds ever produced by a living creature, reaching up to 188 decibels, louder than a jet engine. Their voices travel across thousands of kilometers of ocean, acoustic messages moving through a silent world beyond human hearing. During the 20th century, humans killed more than 360,000 blue whales. Creatures that once crossed the oceans in vast numbers were driven to the edge of extinction within only a few decades. It became one of the greatest massacres in natural history. Today, only around 10,000 to 25,000 remain. In the vast emptiness of the ocean, finding another of their kind to communicate with, to reproduce with, can sometimes become impossible. The loneliness of the blue whale is the loneliness of a species slowly losing its world. The bowhead whale possesses a skull so powerful it can break through 60 centimeters of solid ice from below. Unlike most whales, they do not migrate seasonally. They remain in the Arctic year-round, following the shifting ice in search of narrow openings to breathe. They are the longest-living mammals ever discovered, with some individuals confirmed to survive for more than 211 years. A bowhead whale born in 1820 may still be swimming through Arctic waters today, carrying within it the memory of 2 centuries of changing oceans. Scientists are now studying the secret behind their extraordinary longevity: unique genes that repair DNA, resist cancer, and slow the aging process. Perhaps from these ancient giants, humanity may one day learn something profound about life itself. The whale shark, Rhynchodon typus, is the largest fish on Earth, growing up to 12 meters long. Yet the word shark can be misleading. They are completely harmless. Their enormous mouths, stretching over 1.5 meters wide, exist only to filter plankton and tiny fish eggs from the sea. They gather in nutrient-rich waters, river mouths, and coral reefs during spawning seasons, creating magnificent encounters where humans can swim beside them without fear. It is one of the most extraordinary experiences the ocean allows us to witness. Much of the whale shark's life remains unknown. They can dive deeper than 1,800 meters and travel thousands of kilometers across the oceans. Where they reproduce, where their young are raised, humanity still has no answer. The sperm whale, Physeter macrocephalus, possesses a massive square-shaped head that makes up nearly 1/3 of its body length. Inside lies the spermaceti organ, an enormous acoustic structure that allows it to navigate with echolocation so precise it can detect objects within centimeters in total darkness. They dive deeper than 2,000 meters, where pressure is more than 200 times greater than at the surface, hunting giant squid in complete darkness. A single dive can last over 90 minutes. It is one of nature's greatest hunts, unfolding far beyond the reach of human eyes. Circular scars often mark the skin of sperm whales, evidence of battles fought against giant squid in the abyss. These colossal struggles unfold in absolute darkness, with no witnesses and no recordings, only scars left behind to tell the story. Sperm whales live in tightly bonded family groups led by females. When danger approaches, they form defensive circles around their calves, heads inward and tails outward, a survival strategy refined over millions of years. It is unity, family, and protection among giants. Sperm whales sleep unlike almost any other creature on Earth. They float vertically in the water, motionless in small groups, for 10 to 15 minutes at a time. Brief moments of deep silence in the endless ocean, rare peace for hunters that almost never stop moving. Orcas, often called killer whales, are the apex predators of the ocean. No creature beneath the waves can afford to ignore them. Yet the word killer barely captures who they truly are, highly intelligent beings with social lives as complex as those of primates. Orca hunting strategies differ between populations. Some specialize in salmon, others hunt massive whales, while some teach their young to intentionally beach themselves to catch seals. These skills are passed from generation to generation. This is culture in the truest sense of the word. Within an orca pod, the oldest female becomes the guide. Grandmother orcas, living up to 90 years, carry memories of ancient feeding grounds, safe migration routes, and seasons of scarce fish. Their knowledge is one of the pod's greatest treasures. Young orcas are raised and taught by both their mothers and the entire pod for many years. They learn the unique calls of their family group, distinct dialects that differ even between pods sharing the same waters. Orcas from the Pacific and Atlantic may not even understand one another. When looking into the eyes of an orca, many scientists describe the feeling that another intelligence is looking back. Orca brains contain highly developed regions linked to social emotion, structures even humans do not possess in the same way. What truly exists inside their minds, we still do not know. Dolphins choose joy. They do not ride the bow waves of ships to hunt. They do it because they enjoy the speed, the waves, the game itself. Joy is a real evolutionary force in this species, and watching them reminds us that life is not only about survival. Bottlenose dolphins call one another by name. Each individual develops a unique acoustic signature recognized by the rest of the pod and used to communicate directly. Once thought to exist only in humans, this discovery is transforming the way we understand animal language. Coordinated dolphin hunts require real-time communication and complex division of roles. One group blows bubbles to trap fish, another waits above to strike, while others guard the outer edges. This is deliberate cooperation and strategy, not simple instinct. Dolphins are among the few animals capable of passing the mirror test, recognizing their own reflection as a sign of self-awareness. They use tools, teach survival skills to their young, and show empathy toward injured companions. The line between us and them may be far thinner than we once believed. Ship strikes kill hundreds of large whales every year. Human shipping lanes now cut across migration routes followed for thousands of generations, and in these collisions, the whales are always the ones that lose. Ocean noise from commercial shipping, military sonar, and industrial activity is overwhelming the hearing of whales. In a world where sound is vision, language, and navigation, noise pollution means isolation, disorientation, and death. Climate change is transforming the oceans faster than almost any geological event in millions of years. Rising temperatures reduce krill populations, collapsing food chains from the bottom upward. Melting ice destroys habitats that species have adapted to over hundreds of thousands of years. Marine scientists devote their lives to listening to, tracking, and understanding these creatures. Every piece of data collected becomes another fragment of a much larger picture we still cannot fully see. Conservation begins with understanding, and understanding begins with respect. Humanity has walked on the moon, yet more than 80% of the ocean floor remains unexplored. The world beneath the waves is larger, stranger, and richer than anything we can imagine, and its inhabitants are still waiting for us to learn how to listen. They existed millions of years before us. They witnessed mass extinctions, ice ages, and drifting continents. They are the living memory of this planet, silent witnesses to everything Earth has endured. They do not need us, but we need them. Their presence reminds us that true beauty does not require attention to exist, that greatness does not always demand recognition, that there are things far greater than ourselves, and that this is something beautiful. The ocean is still here, silent at the surface, alive beneath. The giants are still swimming through darkness, across thousands of kilometers of cold water, through songs that echo all night unheard by human ears. Let them continue to swim. Let the ocean remain theirs. The ocean covers more than 70% of Earth's surface. Yet humanity has explored less than 20% of it. Beneath these silver waves lies a completely different universe, larger than any jungle or desert on land. Let us dive down into a world where darkness, pressure, and life exist under unimaginable rules. At just 10 meters below the surface, pressure has already doubled compared to land. At 200 meters, sunlight almost completely disappears, and the world turns into a cold blue-violet abyss. And far below that, thousands of meters in absolute darkness, life still continues. Coastal shallow waters are the busiest regions of the ocean, a city beneath the sea that never sleeps. Tropical coral reefs occupy only 1% of the ocean, yet they are home to more than 25% of all marine species. This is where our journey begins, before we descend into the darkness below. The ocean is divided into layers, each one a separate world with its own survival rules. The sunlight zone, from 0 to 200 meters, is where most familiar marine life exists. The deeper you descend, the colder it becomes, the greater the pressure, and the stranger the creatures you encounter. Before meeting the predators, look at the prey, millions of small fish moving like a single living organism. This phenomenon, known as a bait ball, is survival through unity. Every fish is trying not to be the one that gets caught. And surrounding this silver cloud, predators are waiting for the perfect moment to strike. This is the great white shark, a hunting machine refined through 400 million years of evolution. No giant brain, no complex strategy, only perfect instinct and a body engineered for killing. It can smell a single drop of blood in 100 liters of water and detect the electric fields produced by a prey's heartbeat from meters away. The great white's signature hunting technique is an ambush attack from below at speeds up to 40 kilometers per hour. It strikes seals with a devastating first bite, then retreats and waits for the prey to weaken from blood loss. Patient, precise, and ruthless, this is the hunting philosophy of an ocean ruler millions of years old. Hammerhead sharks may look strange, but their T-shaped heads are masterpieces of evolution. Electroreceptor cells spread across the wide surface allow them to detect prey hidden beneath the sand from far away. With eyes positioned on both sides, they gain nearly 360-degree vision. No blind spots, no escape. The tiger shark is the ocean's most terrifying omnivore. It will eat almost anything. Scientists have found car plates, tires, plastic containers, and even armor inside their stomachs. No standards, no limits, the tiger shark is both scavenger and predator at the same time. And then there is a species that is not only powerful but frighteningly intelligent. The orca, also known as the killer whale. They do not hunt alone. They plan, coordinate in groups, and teach hunting skills across generations. Orcas are the only marine species known to possess culture. Each pod has its own dialect, strategies, and traditions. Orca wave washing is a classic example of collective intelligence. The entire pod swims together to create artificial waves that knock prey off ice floes. They coordinate with military-like precision, each individual understanding its role in the hunt. No shark, no other marine predator can do this. This is the power of intelligence. Orcas live in matriarchal families where grandmothers hold the center of power. Male orcas almost never leave their mothers. They stay beside them for decades, often their entire lives. These family bonds are not just emotional, they are the foundation of survival and knowledge transfer. The blue whale is the largest creature ever to exist in Earth's 4 billion-year history, even larger than the dinosaurs. Its heart is the size of a car, and its heartbeat can be heard from 3 kilometers away underwater. One powerful blow from its lungs sends a 9-meter water column into the sky, enough to understand why ancient sailors believed in sea monsters. Despite being the largest animal on Earth, the blue whale feeds on some of the smallest creatures, tiny krill no larger than a finger. Every day it consumes nearly 4 tons of krill, filtering them through curtain-like baleen plates. This contrast, the greatest giant feeding on the smallest prey, is one of nature's most beautiful paradoxes. The humpback whale is the artist of the ocean, famous for songs that can continue for hours without stopping. Their complex melodies change with seasons and regions, traveling thousands of kilometers through the sea. No one fully understands the meaning of these songs. They remain one of the greatest mysteries on Earth. The humpback whale's bubble net technique is a remarkable hunting innovation. Whales swim in circles while releasing bubbles to create walls that trap fish. Then the group surges upward together with mouths wide open, swallowing tons of fish at once. This is not pure instinct. It is a learned skill passed down across generations, a true form of animal culture. From the ocean giants, let us turn to one of nature's smallest yet most extraordinary relationships, the clownfish and the sea anemone. The anemone protects the clownfish with its venomous tentacles, while the clownfish cleans parasites and brings oxygen to the anemone by fanning its fins. Perfect symbiosis, neither thrives without the other, a lesson in mutual dependence from nature itself. Sea turtles have crossed the oceans since the age when dinosaurs ruled the land, surviving for more than 100 million years. Yet the journey of every hatchling is one of the harshest survival battles in nature. Only 1 in 1,000 survives to adulthood. From beach to ocean, and back again to the very beach where they were born, it is the endless cycle of life. Under the moonlight, the mother turtle crawls ashore, to the very beach where she herself was born decades earlier, to lay her eggs. She cannot see well or hear clearly on land, yet she knows the exact location through Earth's magnetic field. After laying her eggs, she returns to the sea, never knowing whether her offspring will survive. Below 1,000 meters, no sunlight can reach. This is the midnight zone, a realm of eternal darkness. Yet darkness does not mean emptiness. More than 76% of creatures here can produce their own light. Bioluminescence is not merely beauty. It is language, deception, and signals of love in absolute darkness. The anglerfish uses light as a deadly trap. Curious prey swim toward the glowing lure and are instantly devoured. Females are dozens of times larger than males. The tiny male finds a female and permanently fuses himself to her body. It is one of nature's strangest love stories, where 2 bodies become a single living creature. The vampire squid may sound terrifying, but it is actually one of the gentlest creatures of the deep sea. It does not hunt. Instead, it feeds on drifting organic debris known as marine snow. Its enormous eyes, the largest relative to body size in the animal kingdom, collect every remaining photon of light in the darkness. At the deepest ocean floor, where sunlight never reaches and pressure crushes metal, hydrothermal vents create life from nothingness. Water heated to 400 degrees Celsius erupts without boiling because of immense pressure, surrounded by forests of tube worms, blind shrimp, and chemosynthetic bacteria. These creatures do not need sunlight. They survive on chemical energy from Earth itself, challenging everything we thought we knew about life. Tube worms can grow over 2 meters long and survive entirely without photosynthesis or ordinary oxygen. Symbiotic bacteria inside their bodies transform toxic sulfur into energy, creating an ecosystem powered by poison. If life can exist here, then it may exist anywhere in the universe, even beneath the icy moons of Jupiter. The Mariana Trench, the deepest point on Earth, plunges more than 11 kilometers deep, enough to bury Mount Everest with over 2 kilometers still above it. The pressure there equals the weight of 50 jet airplanes pressing on your body at once. Yet in 2012, scientists discovered living organisms at those depths, microbes, and even tiny worms. From the scorching abyss, our journey now reaches the opposite extreme, the Arctic Ocean, the coldest and loneliest realm of the global seas. Beneath meters of thick ice lies a silent but vibrant world where life has evolved to endure unimaginable cold. It is one of the planet's most fragile ecosystems and one of the fastest changing because of climate change. The beluga whale is known as the canary of the sea because of its astonishing range of sounds. They communicate through whistles, chirps, clicks, squeals, and calls, a vocal diversity second only to humans. Their flexible, rounded heads are unique among whales, allowing them to nod, turn, and move almost like humans. The narwhal, often called the unicorn of the sea, carries a spiral tusk that can grow up to 3 meters long, a highly specialized elongated tooth. Its tusk contains millions of nerve endings capable of detecting water temperature, salinity, and possibly even magnetic fields. Vikings once sold narwhal tusks across Europe for the price of gold, claiming they were magical unicorn horns. Polar bears are land animals, yet they depend entirely on sea ice for survival. They swim across vast distances between ice floes to hunt seals, their primary source of life-sustaining fat. But as the ice melts and the gaps grow wider, the great white bear is slowly losing the very ground beneath its feet. This is not a normal event of nature. It is a sign of a crisis unfolding in real time. The Arctic Ocean is losing its ice faster than at any point in the last 10,000 years. And every creature that depends on this frozen world, from narwhals to polar bears, now stands on the edge of disappearance. Coral reefs, the underwater cities supporting 1/4 of all marine life, are dying in silence. A temperature increase of just 1 to 2 degrees Celsius is enough for corals to expel their symbiotic algae, lose their color, and slowly starve to death. Since 1950, Earth has lost more than half of its coral reefs, a loss that may take centuries to recover, if ever. Every year, 8 million tons of plastic waste enter the ocean, equal to a garbage truck dumping trash every single minute. Sea turtles mistake plastic bags for jellyfish, their favorite prey, and die from intestinal blockage. By 2050, scientists predict plastic in the oceans could outweigh all fish combined, an almost unimaginable future. Overfishing has pushed more than 33% of global fish stocks beyond sustainable recovery. Bottom trawling destroys coral reefs and seafloors with the brutality of bulldozers, all to catch a single target species while devastating entire ecosystems. Millions of tons of unintended catch, dolphins, turtles, sharks, are thrown back into the sea dead, unnoticed and uncounted. Ocean acidification is one of the silent threats of our age. Excess atmospheric CO2 dissolves into seawater, turning it slightly acidic. Since the Industrial Revolution, ocean pH has dropped by 0.1, sounding small, but representing a 26% increase in acidity. Shells, corals, and calcium-based plankton are slowly dissolving. The very foundation of the marine food chain is beginning to collapse. In 2019, a dead blue whale washed ashore in the Philippines with 40 kilograms of plastic in its stomach. 40 kilograms of plastic bags, ropes, and foam packaging inside the largest creature ever to live on Earth. This was not an accident. It was the result of decades of humanity treating the ocean like a bottomless landfill. The future of the ocean does not depend on the strength of sharks, the intelligence of orcas, or the beauty of coral reefs. That future rests in the hands of a single species, the one that caused this crisis, and the only one capable of stopping it. Every choice we make today, from refusing a plastic bag, to skipping unsustainable seafood, to voting for climate action, determines whether these magnificent creatures will continue to exist. The ocean existed for 3.5 billion years before humans appeared. It survived 5 mass extinctions. Yet nothing has destroyed it as rapidly and deeply as what humanity has done in just 200 years of industrialization. The question is not whether the ocean needs us. The question is whether we are wise enough to save the very thing our own survival depends on. At the very top of the earth lies a place few humans have ever set foot on. A realm of cold, vastness, and mystery, sealed beneath ice for millions of years. This is the Arctic, one of the last untouched frontiers of our planet. From a distance, the Arctic appears empty. No people, no sound. But this is only an illusion. Beneath the silence lies a world of astonishing life. A complex ecosystem moving to its own rhythm, relentless and unbroken. Ice here is more than frozen water. It is a living force, shifting, expanding, and constantly transforming. Winter temperatures fall to -40 degrees, cold enough to freeze breath in the air. And yet, life still finds a way to survive and grow. Time in the Arctic does not move as it does elsewhere on Earth. Winter stretches into months of complete darkness, without a single ray of sunlight. Then summer arrives and light returns, unbroken, 24 hours a day. The midnight sun is one of nature's most extraordinary gifts. For weeks at a time, the sun never dips below the horizon, bathing the world in endless light. Life here has adapted to this rhythm over thousands of years of evolution. To truly understand the Arctic, we must let go of everything we know about nature in gentler lands. This is a different language, one of ice, darkness, and vast silence. Step into this world and discover the secrets it still holds. Ice in the Arctic is never still. It behaves like a living body, drifting with currents and wind. Massive sheets fracture, collide, and rise into towering ridges of ice. The groaning and thunder of breaking ice form the Arctic's constant soundtrack, both majestic and unsettling. Up close, the ice reveals itself as a work of natural art. Cracks trace perfect geometric patterns, each one a record of temperature and pressure. Frozen air bubbles beneath the surface carry samples of ancient atmospheres, preserving thousands of years of Earth's climate history. Most of an iceberg's power lies hidden beneath the surface. The origin of the phrase, "just the tip of the iceberg." A towering mass may rise 50 meters above water, while extending 200 meters below. Its deep turquoise color is born from light absorbed in the depths, a beauty shaped by nature itself. From beneath the water, the underside of the ice becomes another world, light filtering through layers in shimmering blue waves. Here live countless tiny organisms, algae, crustaceans, and larvae clinging to the ice. They form the foundation of the entire Arctic food web, sustaining everything from small fish to great whales. As spring arrives, temperatures rise and the ice begins to melt, forming pools of water across its surface. Meltwater flows into narrow channels, then gathers into temporary rivers winding across the white expanse. It is a signal that summer is coming, a great awakening after months of darkness. When massive ice blocks break and collapse into the ocean, the sound echoes like thunder. Each melting fragment marks an ending and the beginning of a new journey beneath the sea. Destruction and renewal exist side by side, the eternal rhythm of the Arctic. But not all melting is part of a natural cycle. Something is changing. In just a few decades, Arctic sea ice has shrunk dramatically, faster than any model predicted. The heart of the Arctic is slowing, and we can no longer afford to ignore it. In the depths of winter darkness, the Arctic sky ignites with ribbons of color. The aurora borealis, the northern lights, moves like vast curtains drifting in a cosmic wind. It is one of the greatest natural wonders our planet can offer. Science explains the aurora as charged particles from the sun colliding with Earth's atmosphere. Colors shift with altitude and gases: green from oxygen, red from nitrogen, violet from hydrogen. Yet even with explanation, the aurora holds something beyond the reach of reason. Inuit and other Arctic peoples have lived beneath the aurora for thousands of years. To them, it is not just a physical phenomenon. It is the spirits of their ancestors dancing in the sky. These stories remind us that nature carries meanings beyond what science can fully explain. Then the darkness fades, and light returns in a way only the Arctic can create. The sun hovers at the horizon, casting a twilight that lingers for weeks. Golden light spreads across the frozen expanse, an endless afternoon, quietly breathtaking. Spring light awakens the entire Arctic ecosystem. A mother polar bear leads her newborn cubs out of their den for the first time, their eyes squinting in the brightness. Their lives begin in that moment, a new chapter in the Arctic's endless cycle. Light in the Arctic plays strange tricks, deceiving even the most experienced explorers. The phenomenon known as fata morgana creates mirages, floating castles, distant islands, ships suspended in air. For centuries, these illusions have misled travelers, turning the Arctic into a realm where reality and illusion blur. When the aurora fades, another spectacle begins, a night sky untouched by light pollution. The Milky Way stretches from horizon to horizon, billions of stars shimmering like dusted diamonds. Standing beneath it, one feels more than ever how small we are within the universe. Beneath meters of solid ice lies a world few human eyes have ever seen. The Arctic Ocean, dark, frigid, and under immense pressure, is a place where life flourishes in extraordinary ways. It is one of the richest marine regions on Earth, sustained by warmer currents from the south. In spring, as the ice recedes, sunlight floods the ocean after months of darkness. Algae bloom within days, a feast that ignites the entire food chain. Millions of fish gather into vast shoals stretching for kilometers, one of the ocean's most breathtaking spectacles. Beluga whales, often called the canaries of the sea, are true natives of the Arctic. Their white color serves not only as camouflage but also as an adaptation to extreme cold. They communicate through complex sounds that travel vast distances beneath the dark ocean. The bowhead whale is the largest animal capable of living year-round in the Arctic and among the most intelligent in the ocean. Its skull is strong enough to break through ice up to 60 centimeters thick to breathe. With lifespans exceeding 200 years, some individuals may have swum beneath ice that no longer exists today. In the dark depths of the Arctic seabed live creatures still not fully understood by science. Arctic octopuses survive near freezing temperatures, their blood containing special proteins that prevent their cells from freezing. It is a perfect example of evolution's brilliance. Life always finds a way to endure. lion's mane jellyfish, the largest in the world, drifts through the cold Arctic seas. Its bell can exceed 2 meters, with tentacles stretching up to 30 meters, longer than a blue whale. Floating silently in the dark, it captures prey with venomous strands, like living meteors of the ocean. From beneath the ocean, the ice above becomes a second sky, a ceiling of frozen light. It is a reversed world, where above and below lose their meaning. And within this strange inversion, life finds its own balance and harmony. At the top of the Arctic food chain stands a creature perfected over millions of years, the polar bear. Weighing up to 700 kilograms, with thick fat and insulating fur, it is the apex predator of the frozen world. Yet beneath its power lies remarkable intelligence and a complex social life. The polar bear's primary hunting method demands extraordinary patience. It can wait motionless beside a breathing hole for hours. When a seal surfaces, the strike is instant, precise, decisive, final. This is survival as an art, passed from mother to cub over thousands of years. Polar bears are powerful swimmers, capable of traveling hundreds of kilometers in icy waters. For the first 2 years, a mother teaches her cub everything it needs to survive. It is a bond of care and devotion, not unlike how humans raise their young. Ringed seals are among the most vital links in the Arctic ecosystem, prey for polar bears and sustenance for many others. Their thick blubber insulates them from near-freezing waters and stores energy for winter. By maintaining multiple breathing holes, they ensure a constant escape route. Musk oxen are living remnants of the Ice Age, once roaming alongside mammoths. Their dense coat is a natural insulator, finer than cashmere and exceptionally warm. Their defensive circle formation is ancient, an instinct written deep into their DNA. Each year, caribou undertake one of the largest land migrations on Earth, hundreds of thousands traveling vast distances. Guided by ancient instinct, they move without maps or compass. The thunder of their hooves echoes across the land, a symbol of collective strength. The Arctic fox embodies perfect adaptation. White in winter, brown-gray in summer. It can endure temperatures as low as -70 degrees without shivering, its body finely tuned to conserve heat. These small creatures are powerful reminders of life's resilience. Arctic summer transforms coastal cliffs into the busiest cities on Earth. Millions of seabirds crowd every ledge, while whales, seals, and bears gather to exploit the abundance of food. It is the Arctic's great summer feast, a brief but powerful explosion of life before winter returns. The walrus, with tusks up to 1 meter long and weighing as much as 2 tons, is one of the Arctic's most imposing animals. They gather in massive herds, crowding ice and shorelines to rest and stay warm. Their tusks serve not only as weapons, but as tools for climbing, status symbols, and instruments of survival. Orcas, or killer whales, are the ocean's most intelligent predators. Even polar bears avoid them in open water. They hunt in coordinated groups, using complex strategies to surround and share prey. Orcas possess culture. Each pod has its own language and hunting techniques, passed down through generations. All of these creatures converge at a single place, the ice edge, where frozen sea meets open water. It is the Arctic's most vital ecological boundary, rich in nutrients and life. Disrupt this fragile line, and the entire ecosystem begins to collapse. A chain reaction with no clear end. This is an image no one wants to see. A polar bear stranded on a shrinking piece of ice in a vast ocean. It depends on ice to hunt, to reproduce, to survive, and that ice is vanishing faster than it can adapt. This is not the story of one animal. It is the story of an entire world collapsing. The data does not lie. The Arctic is warming 4 times faster than the rest of the planet. Average January temperatures have risen by more than 3 degrees Celsius in just 50 years. Each degree means millions of square kilometers of ice lost, species pushed to the brink, and food chains disrupted. As permafrost thaws, it releases vast amounts of methane trapped for thousands of years. Methane is up to 80 times more potent than CO2 in the short term, creating a dangerous feedback loop. It is a climate time bomb, once triggered, nearly impossible to stop. Climate change in the Arctic is not just environmental. It is a humanitarian crisis. Inuit communities are losing their homes, culture, and way of life built over thousands of years. Rising seas, shifting land, and disappearing wildlife are erasing a familiar world within a single generation. Ironically, melting ice is opening new shipping routes, cutting thousands of kilometers from global trade. Nations and corporations rush to exploit resources once locked beneath ice. The question is, are we burning our own house just to stay warm? Scientists are working tirelessly to understand what is happening. Each ice core is a page in Earth's climate history. Ancient air trapped in ice reveals the past. And the data tells a troubling story. The current rate of change has not been seen in at least 2 million years. This bear does not know where it is going. It only follows instinct, searching for what once was always there. But the ice is gone, and no one can explain why. In this moment, the silence of nature speaks louder than any human warning. But the story of the Arctic is not over, and there are those still fighting to rewrite its ending. Indigenous communities, scientists, and activists are working together, blending traditional knowledge with modern technology. They believe that if humanity created this problem, it also holds the power to solve it. Each spring, new cubs are born, curious, playful, and full of life in a world they do not yet understand. They are the embodiment of hope, life continuing despite overwhelming challenges. The question is not whether they want to survive, but whether we will give them the chance. The Atlantic Ocean, the second largest ocean on this planet, stretches across more than 106 million square kilometers. It is not only a vast body of water, but also the beating heart that regulates Earth's climate. Every living thing on land is touched in some way by its breath. Beneath the surface, colossal currents flow like invisible rivers. The Gulf Stream carries warmth from the tropics northward, heating the continent of Europe from thousands of kilometers away. It is one of the greatest climate engines Earth has ever created. From above, the Atlantic appears calm and endless. But beneath lies a living world that never truly sleeps. Millions of creatures are moving, hunting, and struggling to survive right now at this very moment. Every layer of water, every depth, forms its own ecosystem. From vast silver clouds of fish near the surface to strange creatures living without light in the abyss, the diversity here surpasses human imagination. The floor of the Atlantic hides mountains taller than the Alps and trenches deeper than Mount Everest. The mid-Atlantic ridge runs through the ocean like the spine of the planet. This majestic terrain shapes all life above it. The Atlantic is the birthplace of some of the most violent storms on Earth. Heat energy from warm water transforms into destructive power. Yet that same energy also sustains millions of creatures that depend on the ocean's motion. The humpback whale, a creature weighing up to 40 tons, can still launch itself clear above the sea in a breathtaking display. Each year, it migrates more than 8,000 kilometers, from warm tropical waters to the food-rich cold seas of the far north. It is one of the longest journeys made by any mammal on Earth. Humpback whales are brilliant strategists. Working together, they release giant rings of bubbles to trap schools of fish into a dense mass. Then the group surges upward from below, mouths wide open, swallowing tons of fish and water in a single strike. The song of the humpback whale is among the most complex sounds in nature. Males may sing continuously for up to 20 hours, their voices traveling thousands of kilometers through the sea. Each population has its own dialect, and the songs slowly evolve each year like a living culture. The warm waters of the Caribbean are where humpback whales give birth and raise their young. A newborn calf may already weigh 1 ton and drink hundreds of liters of milk each day. During the first months of motherhood, the female does not feed, devoting all her energy to her calf. The sperm whale is the undisputed deep-diving champion of the ocean. With its giant head housing one of the most advanced sonar systems on Earth, it can dive deeper than 3,000 meters. Their pressure is nearly 300 times greater than at the surface, yet it hunts with ease. Kilometers below the surface, in total darkness, sperm whales confront giant squid. These legendary battles may last for hours, yet no human has ever witnessed one directly. The only evidence is the massive sucker scars left on the whales when they return to the surface. The great white shark is an icon of ocean power. It can migrate more than 20,000 kilometers each year, crossing the full width of the Atlantic and returning to the exact point where it began. By sensing Earth's magnetic field, it navigates with the precision of a living compass. On the snout of the great white shark are thousands of electroreceptors called ampullae of Lorenzini. They can detect electric fields billions of times weaker than what humans could sense. Even when prey is buried beneath the sand, the shark can pinpoint its location by sensing the victim's heartbeat. Bluefin tuna are the marathon racers of the sea. They can swim at speeds of 70 kilometers per hour and sustain powerful movement for thousands of kilometers. Each year, they cross the Atlantic to spawn in the Mediterranean, then return to the rich feeding grounds of the Western Ocean. Bluefin tuna possess a rare ability among fish. They can keep their body temperature up to 20 degrees Celsius warmer than the surrounding water. Their heat exchange system works like an internal furnace. This allows their muscles to perform at maximum power in waters of any temperature. Leatherback sea turtles are tireless long-distance travelers. They migrate from the shores of the Americas to Africa in search of food, completing round trips of more than 16,000 kilometers each year. After decades away, females still return to the very beach where they were born to lay eggs. Manta rays look like giant flying carpets gliding through the sea. Though their wingspan can reach 7 meters and they weigh several tons, they feed only on tiny plankton. They are among the most intelligent ocean creatures and can recognize themselves in a mirror, a rare trait in the animal kingdom. Atlantic salmon undertake one of nature's most tragic and heroic journeys. They spend years at sea, then return to the exact river where they were born to spawn and die. They leap waterfalls, battle raging currents, and stop eating entirely, all to fulfill the final purpose of their lives. The Sargasso Sea, in the heart of the Atlantic, is the only sea on Earth with no shores, bounded entirely by ocean currents. European and American eels both swim here from opposite sides of the ocean to spawn and die. Their young then begin the long journey back to continents their parents never knew. Atlantic creatures do not move at random. They read the ocean the way humans read maps. Water temperature, current direction, salinity, and light are invisible but precise signals that species have learned to decode through millions of years of evolution. The call of a blue whale can reach 188 decibels, louder than a jet engine. This sound travels thousands of kilometers through the ocean by means of a special water layer known as the Sofar Channel. Two whales on opposite sides of the Atlantic may still hear and communicate with one another. Dolphins do far more than swim. They are playful, curious, and remarkably intelligent. Their sonar is so precise that it can detect an object the size of a coin from 100 meters away in total darkness. Each dolphin has its own signature name that other members of the pod instantly recognize. Octopuses are the masters of camouflage. In less than a second, they can change color, patterns, and even skin texture to blend perfectly into their surroundings. Strangely, octopuses are colorblind, yet they still camouflage flawlessly. Science has not fully solved this mystery. The bait ball is one of the most dramatic spectacles in the ocean. Millions of small fish pack tightly into a spinning sphere for protection. From above, birds dive down. From below, large fish and dolphins attack. From the sides, sharks slice through. It is a perfect siege from every direction. Horseshoe crabs have existed for 450 million years, older than the dinosaurs. Every year, during the full moon nights of May, millions crawl onto Atlantic beaches to breed. It is one of the largest and most ancient mass migrations still surviving on this planet. Swordfish can warm their brains and eyes to see more clearly in cold, deep water, an extraordinary adaptation that helps them hunt efficiently across many depths. They can reach speeds of 100 kilometers per hour in short bursts, making them one of the fastest marine animals on Earth. Each night, the sea becomes an upside-down sky of stars. Trillions of bioluminescent plankton illuminate the ocean from within. This phenomenon is not only beautiful, their living light is also a language for communication, warning predators, and attracting mates in the darkness below. Atlantic coral reefs are miniature cities beneath the sea. Though they cover only 0.1% of the ocean floor, they shelter more than 25% of all marine fish species. Every reef is a complex living network where each species plays an irreplaceable role in the ecosystem. The largest creature is not always the most powerful. The lionfish is small, yet armed with deadly venomous spines and bright fins like warning flags to the sea. It does not need to flee or hide. It stands proudly still and lets the entire ocean know, never come too close. Below 200 meters, sunlight disappears completely. Temperatures fall close to freezing. Pressure becomes strong enough to crush a truck. This is the gateway to another world, the dark deep sea that makes up nearly 95% of the volume of Earth's oceans. Deep-sea anglerfish carry a living lantern above their heads, a glowing organ powered by symbiotic bacteria. In total darkness, this tiny light becomes the perfect trap. Curious prey swims toward the glow and straight into a mouth of long, waiting teeth. Atlantic giant squid can grow up to 13 meters long, larger than a city bus. Their eyes, as wide as dinner plates, are the largest in the animal kingdom. In the deep darkness, those remarkable eyes can detect the faintest light from distant predators. In the dark, deep sea, food falls from the sky, an underwater sky. Marine snow is made of endless organic fragments, dead creatures, waste, and shed scales drifting down from above. It is the main source of energy for the deep ecosystem, a constant rain of nutrients that never stops. Deep-sea dragonfish look like monsters from science fiction, yet their bodies are only a few dozen centimeters long. Their transparent fangs are so large the mouth cannot fully close. Rows of glowing lights along the body flash to communicate or lure prey, like a living spacecraft shining through the dark. The Dumbo octopus lives at depths of up to 7,000 meters, making it the deepest living octopus known to science. It swims by gently flapping ear-like fins, gliding through the darkness like a ghost. Under immense pressure, its body does not collapse because it contains no hollow air spaces. Newly hatched sea turtles begin their journey alone into the ocean, with no guide and no map. They navigate using Earth's magnetic field and warm currents, living among drifting seaweed mats like floating lifeboats. These are the most mysterious years of a turtle's life, known to science as the lost years. Despite its name, the vampire squid is neither a true squid nor an octopus, but a separate evolutionary lineage that has existed for 300 million years. When threatened, it turns itself inside out, covering its body with sharp spines like armor, a defense strategy unlike anything else in nature. Deep-sea glass shrimp solve camouflage in the most extreme way possible, by becoming completely transparent. Their bodies are like glass, allowing light to pass through without reflection, so predators see only the ocean beyond. Their red organs are the only visible part, but at depth red light disappears, making them effectively invisible. Humanity reached the moon before fully exploring the seafloor of its own planet. Even today, only a little over 20% of the ocean floor has been mapped in detail. Every deep dive reveals new discoveries, creatures never before named, living in a world utterly foreign to us. On the floor of the Atlantic, where not a single photon of sunlight can reach, vibrant oases of life still exist. Hydrothermal vents blast water as hot as 400 degrees from deep within Earth. These are ecosystems that do not depend on the sun. They run on energy from the planet's interior. Giant tube worms, reaching up to 2 meters long, survive entirely through chemosynthetic bacteria living inside their bodies. They have no mouth, no stomach, and no digestive system. Instead, the bacteria convert vent chemicals into food and sustain their host, a perfect alliance between two forms of life. The Yeti crab looks like a creature from legend, with claws covered in white fur. In reality, those are long filaments that host chemosynthetic bacteria. The crab waves its arms and vent water to grow the bacteria, then feeds on them, a perfect self-sustaining farm carried on its own hands. Hydrothermal vents reveal something once thought impossible. Life does not necessarily need sunlight. Their discovery in 1977 transformed humanity's understanding of the limits of life. Today, scientists are searching for similar vents beneath the ice of Europa, a moon of Jupiter. The ocean is absorbing more than 90% of the excess heat caused by climate change. Warmer waters push food sources toward the poles, forcing entire migration chains to adapt. Species that fail to adjust will arrive at old feeding grounds and find nothing waiting for them. A rise of just 1 degree Celsius can cause corals to expel their symbiotic algae and turn ghostly white, a phenomenon known as coral bleaching. Without algae, corals cannot photosynthesize and slowly die. In recent decades, more than half of Atlantic coral reefs have disappeared. When coral dies, an entire city of marine life collapses with it. Every year, hundreds of thousands of large marine animals die after becoming trapped in abandoned fishing nets. Known as ghost nets, lost or discarded traps drifting endlessly through the sea. They continue killing for decades. Whales, sea turtles, and sharks are all vulnerable to these invisible snares. More than 8 million tons of plastic enter the ocean each year. Sunlight breaks it down into microscopic particles called microplastics, smaller than grains of sand. These particles enter the food chain from plankton to fish to whales and eventually onto our own plates. The ocean is returning what we threw into it. Yet across the Atlantic, people are fighting to protect it. Scientists attach satellite tags to whales to understand their migrations. That data is shaping conservation policy, creating no-fishing zones, and forcing ships to change course to avoid whale collisions. The Atlantic has existed for hundreds of millions of years and has witnessed the greatest mass extinctions in the history of life. It recovered each time. But the speed of change today is unlike anything in geological history. The future of this ocean, and every extraordinary creature within it, depends on the choices our generation makes right now. Earth, our blue planet, is covered by oceans across more than 70% of its surface. Yet beneath that breathtaking beauty lie some of the harshest and most dangerous waters ever known. Today, we journey into places where even nature itself seems unwilling to forgive mistakes. From storms that tear apart the sky to icy waters capable of freezing steel ships. From earthquakes shaking the ocean floor to the razor-sharp teeth of predators hidden in darkness. The ocean is not our enemy, but it has never been an easy friend. Six seas, 6 different levels of danger. Each possesses its own form of destruction, from ice and fire to deadly predators. This journey will take us through each of them and reveal why humanity remains only a small visitor upon the vast ocean. For thousands of years, sailors have shared stories capable of chilling the blood. Ships vanished without a trace. Expeditions disappeared forever. And the ocean, offering neither explanation nor apology, silently swallowed them all. But this is not only a story of destruction. It is also a story of power, wonder, and the lessons the ocean offers humanity. Listen closely, because the ocean is speaking, and its voice is impossible to ignore. The Southern Ocean surrounds Antarctica, the coldest continent on Earth. No landmass blocks the winds, and no barriers weaken the enormous waves. Here, nature operates with its full, untamed power. Storms here are known by fearsome names such as the Roaring Forties, Furious 50s, and Screaming 60s. They are named after the latitudes where winds howl endlessly across the ocean. Often exceeding 120 kilometers per hour, these winds transform the sea into a white inferno. Waves in the Southern Ocean can reach heights of 25 meters, as tall as an 8-story building. With no land for thousands of kilometers to weaken them, they continue gathering energy as they circle Antarctica endlessly. Maritime history records hundreds of shipwrecks in these waters. Even steel vessels have been twisted and crushed by the combined force of wind and sea. The Southern Ocean makes no distinction between wooden ships and iron ones. All are vulnerable to its power. Beyond waves and wind, giant icebergs represent another deadly threat. Only a small fraction is visible above the surface, while the massive bulk remains hidden below. In thick fog, spotting them can become nearly impossible. Remarkably, life thrives even in such extreme conditions. Giant albatrosses travel thousands of kilometers without rest, while penguins dive into icy waters in search of food. It is a powerful reminder of nature's ability to adapt and survive. The Southern Ocean is not only dangerous but also essential to the health of our planet. It absorbs vast amounts of human-generated carbon dioxide and helps regulate the global climate. If this system weakens, the consequences will be felt worldwide. In the Antarctic night, green and violet auroras dance across the dark ocean surface. Their beauty is so mesmerizing that it can make people forget the deadly conditions surrounding them. The Southern Ocean is a place where beauty and danger exist side by side. The Drake Passage is a narrow corridor connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans at the edge of Antarctica. Though only about 800 kilometers wide, it concentrates much of the Southern Ocean's immense power. Sailors have long called it the mouth of hell, and that reputation was not earned through exaggeration. Waves in the Drake Passage can reach heights of 12 meters and may appear with little warning. Rapid atmospheric pressure changes make weather forecasting extremely challenging. For centuries, these waters have claimed countless lives and sent numerous ships to the bottom of the sea. Beneath Drake's icy waters lies a graveyard of ships that once challenged the sea. Hundreds of wrecks rest across the seabed, now serving as habitats for marine life. Each wreck represents an unfinished chapter of history and a story that may never be fully told. Beyond its waves and winds, the Drake Passage lies within a geologically active region. Earthquakes frequently occur beneath the seafloor, occasionally causing significant disturbances in the marine environment. Hidden volcanoes operate silently beneath the deep waters, reminding us that Earth's power is always present below the surface. Despite its fearsome reputation, Drake continues to attract those willing to face its challenges. Explorers, solo sailors, and scientific expeditions still cross these waters on their journeys to Antarctica. They are not fearless, but they believe some goals are worth the risk. Veteran sailors sometimes refer to rare calm days as Drake Lake, when the sea becomes smooth and peaceful. Yet that tranquility is only temporary. Even in its quietest moments, Drake holds the potential for its next outburst of fury. Off the coasts of South Africa, Australia, and California lives one of the ocean's most formidable predators. The great white shark stands at the top of the marine food chain, refined through millions of years of evolution. With immense size, remarkable speed, and highly developed senses, it is a master hunter of the sea. South Africa's Dire Island is considered one of the world's great white shark capitals. Each year, these giant predators gather there to hunt seals. They are famous for launching themselves from the depths and sometimes bursting completely out of the water in spectacular attacks. The hunting strategy of the great white shark is an evolutionary masterpiece. It approaches from the dark waters below, where sunlight conceals its silhouette from prey. When the moment arrives, the attack happens so quickly that the victim rarely has time to react. Dozens of shark attacks are recorded worldwide each year. Many are believed to result from mistaken identity, with sharks confusing humans for their usual prey. Yet, given the tremendous power of these predators, even a single bite can have devastating consequences. Ironically, great white sharks themselves are now threatened by human activity. Overfishing, ocean pollution, and declining food sources are placing immense pressure on their populations. A species that survived countless upheavals throughout Earth's history now faces one of its greatest challenges from humanity itself. Looking into the dark eyes of a great white shark, many see only fear and danger. Yet these animals are not monsters. They are an essential part of the marine ecosystem. Perhaps the more important question is not whether we should fear sharks, but what would happen to the ocean if sharks disappeared. The Atlantic Ocean is the second largest ocean on Earth and the birthplace of some of the planet's most powerful storms. Every year, from June to November, warm ocean waters fuel massive atmospheric engines. A single superstorm can release an astonishing amount of energy beyond human imagination. Storms such as Katrina, Sandy, and Dorian have left lasting scars on modern history. Storm surges can flood entire coastal cities within hours. Far offshore, gigantic waves sweep across vessels with overwhelming force. During winter, the North Atlantic becomes one of the harshest marine environments on Earth. Near-freezing water temperatures make survival extremely difficult. Powerful winds, towering waves, and ice accumulation create a relentless challenge for sailors. The Strait of Gibraltar is the narrow gateway connecting the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea. Opposing currents meet here, creating complex and unpredictable water movements. Throughout history, it has remained one of the world's most challenging maritime routes. The North Atlantic was the site of one of history's most famous maritime disasters. In 1912, the Titanic struck an iceberg and sank into the freezing ocean. More than a century later, the tragedy remains a symbol of humanity's vulnerability before nature. No discussion of the Atlantic is complete without mentioning the Bermuda Triangle. Stories of missing ships and aircraft have turned it into one of the world's most famous mysteries. Although science offers many explanations, the region continues to capture human imagination. After a storm passes, the Atlantic often returns to a remarkable calm. The sea becomes smooth, and the air feels freshly cleansed. It is a reminder that nature is neither good nor evil. It simply follows its own laws. Encircling the Pacific Ocean is a vast geological arc known as the Ring of Fire. It contains most of the Earth's active volcanoes and earthquakes. This region represents one of the greatest concentrations of geological power on the planet. When molten lava meets cold seawater, a violent reaction occurs instantly. Steam, gases, and chemical compounds are released into the atmosphere. Yet from these destructive processes, entirely new land can eventually emerge. Japan sits atop one of the most geologically active regions in the world. The 2011 earthquake and tsunami revealed the immense power hidden beneath the seafloor. Within a short time, entire coastal communities were changed forever. Beneath the Pacific lies a hidden world largely unseen by humanity. Thousands of underwater volcanoes remain active in the deep darkness. Although most of this activity goes unnoticed, it continues to shape our planet every day. Indonesia sits at the intersection of major tectonic plates, making it one of the most volcanically active nations on Earth. Historic eruptions have influenced not only local regions but also global climate patterns. It is a powerful example of how interconnected Earth's natural systems truly are. The Pacific is home to the deepest known place on Earth, the Mariana Trench. Its immense depth creates pressures far beyond the limits of most conventional equipment. It remains one of the most mysterious environments humanity has ever explored. Even in total darkness and crushing pressure, life continues to exist. Strange creatures have evolved remarkable adaptations to survive in these extreme conditions. They demonstrate that life can flourish in places once thought impossible. The Philippines is one of the most storm-affected nations on Earth. Numerous powerful typhoons have caused tremendous human and economic losses. Yet its people continue to adapt, rebuild, and move forward after every disaster. New Zealand sits on the boundary of major tectonic plates, making earthquakes a familiar part of life. These geological forces have created breathtaking landscapes of volcanoes, valleys, and coastlines. It is a place where natural beauty and natural power exist side by side. If the Southern Ocean is the realm of storms and waves, the Arctic Ocean is the realm of ice and cold. It may be the smallest ocean on Earth, but it hosts some of the harshest conditions on the planet. During winter, temperatures can plunge below -40 degrees Celsius, cold enough for the air itself to feel like a blade against exposed skin. Arctic icebergs can grow to the size of entire cities. When they crack apart or overturn, they release tremendous energy capable of generating powerful local waves. The sound of breaking ice echoes like thunder, traveling for dozens of kilometers across the polar night. Ships crossing the Arctic Ocean are often escorted by specialized icebreakers. Yet even these powerful vessels can become trapped within shifting sea ice. Cracks may open and close rapidly, creating enough pressure to crush a ship's hull in a surprisingly short time. Polar bears are the iconic predators of the Arctic and among the most formidable hunters in the region. Perfectly adapted to life in extreme cold, they stand at the top of the Arctic food chain. Yet even these powerful animals are losing their habitat as sea ice continues to shrink. Climate change is transforming the Arctic Ocean faster than almost anywhere else on Earth. As ice retreats, new shipping routes emerge and access to natural resources expands. However, these changes also bring environmental consequences that scientists are still working to fully understand. During summer, the Arctic experiences the midnight sun, when daylight lasts for weeks without interruption. Golden light stretches across the ice and sea, creating a scene of almost unreal beauty. Yet beneath that beauty lies a fragile ecosystem facing increasing pressure from global warming. Scientists working in the Arctic face extreme conditions every day. They study sea ice, climate systems, and ecosystems to better understand the changes taking place. The data they collect helps reveal not only the future of the Arctic, but also the future of our planet as a whole. Six oceans, 6 lessons about the power of nature. The Southern Ocean teaches resilience, Drake teaches courage, and great white sharks reveal the importance of ecological balance. The Atlantic reminds us of humility, the Ring of Fire of fragility, and the Arctic Ocean of our responsibility toward the future. The ocean is not an enemy to conquer, but a teacher to listen to and respect. Humanity cannot control nature, but it can choose to live in harmony with it. Protect the oceans, for they are the beating heart of our planet, and that heart needs our care now more than ever. The Pacific Ocean, the largest ocean on Earth, wider than all continents combined. It holds more than half of our planet's water. And beneath its calm surface lies a world that has never stopped breathing. Sunlight reaches only 200 meters, a thin layer above an abyss 11 kilometers deep. Below it lies eternal darkness, crushing pressure, and freezing cold. And yet, life endures, resilient, strange, and intelligent in ways we are only beginning to understand. The ocean is never still. Massive currents flow like the bloodstream of a living organism. They carry heat, nutrients, and life across the planet. Without these currents, life as we know it would not exist. It begins with the smallest plankton invisible to the naked eye. They produce over 50% of the oxygen we breathe. The greatest forces of life are often carried by the smallest unseen hands. Millions of years of evolution have shaped countless answers to one question: how to survive. Every species is a strategy. Every body is a masterpiece of intelligence. Listen closely, the library of life is opening. Orcas, killer whales. The name sounds ruthless, but the truth is far more complex. They are not solitary hunters. They are a society. And that society operates on an intelligence we are only beginning to understand. When hunting, orcas do not rush into chaos. They use strategy. One group drives the fish, another blocks escape, others attack in sequence. It takes years for a young orca to learn this entire system from its pod. Each pod has its own language, passed from mother to calf across generations. This is not instinct. This is culture. Orcas are among the few species known to transmit culture through learning. Orcas teach their young with techniques that demand patience and precision. They wait for the perfect moment. They understand space and terrain. Their intelligence is that of a general, strategic, patient, and collective. Orcas do not need the biggest prey or the strongest bodies. They need each other. The ocean's first lesson: true power lies in cooperation. For 100 million years, that is how long sharks have existed on this planet. They have survived 5 mass extinctions, events that wiped out most life on Earth. And their form has barely changed, because they reached perfection long ago. Sharks sense bioelectric fields, faint signals from a beating heart, muscle movement, flowing blood. Even hidden beneath the sand, prey cannot escape. This is not technology, it is instinct refined to perfection over millions of years. The great white hunts alone, no allies, no complex coordination. Every strike is the result of millions of years of biological optimization. This is the intelligence of perfection. When you are already enough, you do not need to change. At first glance, the hammerhead's strange head seems like a mistake of nature. But it is a masterpiece of design. Eyes spaced wide apart, granting nearly 360-degree vision. They can see behind without turning, always aware of everything around them. Their wide head doubles as a powerful sensory array, expanding their electroreception. They scan the ocean floor like a living metal detector. Even a stingray buried in sand meters away cannot escape detection. This is sensory intelligence, mastering the environment with unmatched awareness. The whale shark, the largest fish on Earth. A mouth as wide as a doorway, a body the size of a bus. Yet all that power is used to feed on plankton and tiny fish. They have chosen not to play the game of violence, and that choice has become a remarkably successful survival strategy. By feeding on the ocean's most abundant resource, plankton, whale sharks avoid competition almost entirely. They live quietly, without the need to chase, without the need for speed, with few natural enemies. This is the intelligence of choice, taking the path of least conflict and lasting the longest. Octopuses have no bones, no shells, no claws. The only thing they truly possess is intelligence, and a very unusual one. 2/3 of their neurons are not in the brain, but spread across their 8 arms. Each arm can act independently, sensing, deciding, and moving without waiting for the central brain. This is distributed intelligence. No single center of control, every part can act on its own. Lose one arm, and the others continue as if nothing happened. Octopuses use tools, a rare trait in nature. They gather coconut shells as shelter, open jars for food, solve complex puzzles. They do not simply react, they think. A mother octopus stops eating while guarding her eggs, sometimes for months. When they hatch, she is often too weak to survive. This is intelligence through sacrifice, a behavior that looks remarkably like love. An octopus lives no more than 3 years. Yet in that brief time, it learns, adapts, creates, and feels. If it lived longer, how far could its intelligence go? A question science still cannot answer. Jellyfish have no brain, no heart, no blood, no bones. They are drifting bodies of water, so simple they barely seem like animals. And yet, they have existed for over 500 million years, longer than dinosaurs, longer than sharks, longer than trees. There is a species called Turritopsis dohrnii. When injured or aging, it can reverse its life cycle, returning to its juvenile form, starting over, growing again, then repeating the process. In theory, it can do this endlessly, a true form of biological immortality. The lesson of the jellyfish: perfection does not always come from complexity, but from simplicity. When you have nothing to lose, you are nearly impossible to destroy. This is the intelligence of minimalism, and therefore of endurance. Sea snakes do not hide. They want to be seen. Their vivid colors are a warning. My venom is far more potent than that of land cobras. This is chemical intelligence. Invest in the ultimate biological weapon, then display it as an invisible shield. Lionfish do not chase their prey. They lure it in through beauty and curiosity. Their spines carry neurotoxic venom. A single touch can paralyze. Their strategy: become dangerously beautiful and let the world walk into the trap. The leafy sea dragon is the pinnacle of natural camouflage. No predator can distinguish it from real seaweed. Its leaf-like appendages do not aid movement, but perfect its disguise. Evolution chose appearance over speed, and that choice ensured survival. In seahorses, the male carries and gives birth, a rare reversal in nature. They move slowly, unable to escape, yet perfect camouflage and a hidden life ensure their survival. This is the intelligence of invisibility. Sometimes not being seen is the greatest power. Every year, billions of sardines migrate along the coast of South Africa in an event known as the Sardine Run, the largest migration in the ocean. Individually, they are insignificant, but together, they form a superorganism stretching for kilometers. No leader, no command, yet they move as one. When attacked, the school reacts instantly, forming a spinning bait ball, each fish shifting position in constant motion. No single fish is in control. Each responds only to its neighbors, and from this emerges a collective intelligence. This is emergent intelligence, where no leader exists, yet the group behaves like a single mind. The lesson of the sardines is not brute strength in numbers. It is this: when individuals follow simple rules, the group becomes more intelligent than any single member. This is distributed intelligence at its largest scale, and nature has relied on it for millions of years. Dolphins are one of the few creatures in the ocean we still do not fully understand. They play without purpose. They help humans without training. They do things that suggest only one possibility: they feel something deeper. When faced with a mirror, dolphins recognize themselves, a trait shared by only a few species: great apes, elephants, and humans. Self-awareness is the first step toward consciousness. Once you know you exist, you can reflect on that existence. Dolphins reached this step long ago. Each dolphin has a unique, signature whistle, a name. They call each other, recognize one another, and remember these calls even after years apart. In an ocean without clear identity markers, individuality is preserved through sound. Dolphins have been observed helping other species, not their own kind, not for survival, simply because another being is in distress. Science struggles to define this behavior. Humans call it compassion. Perhaps the ocean discovered it long before we did. Green sea turtles can live over a century. In that lifetime, they travel thousands of kilometers. From Brazil to Ascension Island, over 2,200 kilometers, and return to the very beach where they were born. No maps, no GPS, only Earth's magnetic field, encoded into their DNA from the beginning. When a female turtle returns to lay her eggs, she comes back to the exact place she was born decades earlier. No guidance, no learned memory. This is genetic memory, information passed through generations over millions of years. coral reef is not a single organism. It is a city. Over 25% of all marine species live within reefs, though they cover less than 1% of the ocean floor. This is symbiotic intelligence, the power of interdependence. When ocean temperatures rise by just 1 to 2 degrees Celsius, corals lose the algae that sustain them. Without it, they fade and die. And when corals die, entire ecosystems collapse. This is not a metaphor, it is happening now in real time. Every year, over 8 million tons of plastic enter the ocean. Plastic does not disappear. It breaks into smaller fragments, microplastics, and infiltrates the food chain. Right now, microplastics are inside fish, inside whales, and inside us. The ocean absorbs over 90% of excess heat from climate change. It is buffering the warming for us. But it has limits. As temperatures rise, currents shift, ecosystems collapse. When the ocean can no longer absorb the heat, we will feel the consequences. When an orca lineage disappears, its language disappears with it. Millions of years of intelligence vanish without record or recovery. Each extinction is a library burning, and too many libraries are being lost. More than 1/3 of coral species are threatened. Shark populations have declined by over 70% in the last 50 years. Sea turtles, survivors of the dinosaur era, now face extinction. We are living through the 6th mass extinction. And this time, the cause has a name: us. And yet, the ocean remains. It breathes. It reproduces. It adapts. Orcas still teach their young. Octopuses still solve problems we cannot imagine. The library of life is still open. The question is, are we paying attention? Humans are the only species capable of understanding other intelligences, and also the only one capable of destroying them. Yet we are also the only ones who can choose not to. That is a form of intelligence the ocean has not evolved, the intelligence of moral choice. Orcas say, cooperation is power. Sharks say, perfection is enough. Octopuses say, adapt and transform. Jellyfish say, simplicity endures. Sardines say, unity creates intelligence. Dolphins say, know who you are. Sea turtles say, remember where you belong. Intelligence has no single form. It is not just strength, speed, or a large brain. It is anything that allows you to survive, evolve, and leave something behind. Every hatchling carries the memory of millions of years. It does not know its name. It does not understand the ocean. But it knows where to go. And that is enough. Sometimes knowing the direction is the deepest form of intelligence. The Pacific existed long before humanity, and it will exist long after us. The question is not whether the ocean needs us. The question is whether we deserve to live alongside it. From space, Earth glows with the lights of human civilization. But behind those lights lies an invisible network, flows of energy that sustain the world. And all of it converges on a single, small point on the map. This is the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow stretch of water less than 50 kilometers wide at its narrowest point. Between Iran and the Arabian Peninsula, it is the only gateway from the Persian Gulf to the open ocean. Without it, much of the world's oil cannot reach its destination. Every day, around 20 million barrels of oil, about 20% of global supply, pass through these waters. This is not just a statistic. It fuels cars, planes, power plants, powers the lives of billions. On the surface, Hormuz appears calm and peaceful. Still waters, open skies. Yet beneath that calm lies the weight of the global economy flowing through it every hour. On the horizon, massive ships line up like floating buildings. Each one longer than 3 football fields, carrying hundreds of thousands of tons of crude oil. They arrive and depart endlessly, never stopping. Japan, South Korea, India, and China, the largest economies in Asia, all depend on oil passing through Hormuz. If the strait were to close for even a week, global supply chains would fall into immediate chaos. But Hormuz is more than data and maps. It is home to thousands of people, fishermen, traders, families who have lived along these shores for generations. For them, the sea is not a shipping route. It is life itself. Beneath the strait lies an entirely different world, coral, fish, and marine life that existed long before humans discovered oil. And they are still there, living in silence beneath the massive ships above. These massive oil tankers are known as VLCCs, very large crude carriers. A single vessel can carry up to 320,000 tons of crude oil, enough to power a city of millions for months. Navigating through Hormuz is far from simple. Shipping lanes are tightly controlled, each only about 3 kilometers wide. A small mistake in darkness or fog could lead to an unpredictable disaster. More than 17,000 ships pass through Hormuz each year, nearly 50 per day. In such a narrow space, managing traffic requires near-perfect coordination between nations. The risk of oil spills is ever present. When accidents happen, oil can spread across tens of square kilometers within hours. Ecosystems may take decades to recover. After every spill, people bear the consequences. Fishermen lose their livelihoods, cleanup crews work tirelessly, and marine life often has no chance of rescue. An invisible threat is underwater noise. ship engines generate powerful sound, disrupting how dolphins and whales communicate and navigate. Beyond oil spills, ships emit large amounts of CO2 and sulfur. Global shipping accounts for about 2.5% of emissions, and Hormuz is one of the most concentrated points on Earth. Beyond economics, there is a geopolitical dimension. Hormuz is a zone of tension where multiple powers, including the United States, Iran, and Gulf nations, maintain military presence. Every diplomatic conflict carries real risks for maritime safety. Even a single news report about tension in Hormuz can move global oil prices. In 2019, attacks on tankers near the Strait caused prices to spike within hours, affecting fuel costs worldwide. At night, Hormuz never sleeps. Ships glow like moving islands across the dark water, never stopping. Because the world's demand for energy never stops. But look beneath the surface. Near Hengam Island, not far from major oil shipping routes, an entirely different world exists. Colorful corals, parrotfish, butterfly fish, a vibrant reef thriving in one of the most strategic seas on Earth. Dolphins still swim freely here, a beautiful yet heartbreaking sight beside massive oil tankers. Unaware, they live in one of the most polluted and dangerous marine environments on the planet. Sea turtles still return here to nest on white sandy beaches. They have survived millions of years of evolution. But now, they must adapt to an ocean changing faster than ever before. Scientists are monitoring every rise in sea temperature. The Persian Gulf is already one of the hottest marine regions on Earth, and it continues to warm. Coral bleaching occurs when waters become too warm, causing corals to lose their color and slowly die. When corals disappear, entire ecosystems that depend on them collapse. Less visible than coral reefs, but equally important, are seagrass meadows, breeding grounds for hundreds of fish species. They absorb carbon more efficiently than forests, yet they are rapidly disappearing. Dugongs once thrived in these waters, feeding on seagrass. Today, their numbers have declined drastically. As seagrass disappears, so do they. Seabirds still return, but fish are becoming scarce. Nature adapts, but only within limits. Everything is connected. When plankton shifts, the entire food chain is affected, from small fish to humans. On one side, a scientist studying fragile ecosystems. On the other, a massive oil tanker. Two worlds, two priorities sharing the same sea. Ahmed has fished these waters for over 40 years. His hands are rough, his eyes trained on the horizon. He knows the sea like the back of his hand, its currents, its winds, its changing seasons. But the sea he knows is changing. Massive oil tankers create waves that can overturn small boats. Engine noise drives fish away. And sometimes, thin oil slicks drift across the surface, signs of incidents never reported. Fish catches have dropped significantly compared to 20 years ago. Fishermen must travel farther, stay longer at sea, and return with far less. Every evening, women and children wait on the shore for boats to return. The sea sustains them, but it can also take everything. Every journey is a gamble. The younger generation stands at a crossroads. Fishing no longer provides enough to support a family. Many have left the trade, seeking work in industrial zones or moving to cities. A centuries-old tradition is slowly fading. This is not the first time Ahmed has pulled up nets coated in oil. They must be cleaned for hours, sometimes thrown away. The loss is real, yet no one is held accountable. From above, the village appears almost invisible beside massive passing tankers. A stark image of imbalance between local communities and global energy systems. For fishermen, the sea is not a resource or a route. It is a relationship, a long-standing bond between people and nature. And that bond is slowly being broken. Imagine the global energy and trade network as a complex circulatory system. In that system, Hormuz is the valve where all flows must pass. If that valve shuts, the entire system stops. Thousands of kilometers away, trading floors in New York, London, and Singapore react instantly to events in Hormuz. Financial markets and this distant sea beat in the same rhythm. For Gulf nations such as Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Kuwait, and Iraq, Hormuz is a lifeline. It is the only route to export oil, the foundation of their entire economies. Alternative routes exist, such as pipelines across the desert. but their combined capacity handles only a fraction of the flow. There is no true replacement for orcas. This is why orcas is always present in international negotiations. Every energy agreement, every nuclear talk with Iran, every military arrangement carries its shadow. The question grows louder: can the world reduce its dependence on orcas? Renewable energy is rising, but oil still dominates. The transition is happening, but far slower than needed. A narrow stretch of sea carries the weight of modern civilization. It is both a triumph and a vulnerability of our world. This is the defining contradiction of our time. We need energy to build civilization, yet extracting and transporting it is slowly destroying the natural foundation we depend on. Nowhere is this more visible than in orcas. Three people, three perspectives on the same sea. A fisherman sees his livelihood fading. A scientist sees ecosystems declining. A ship captain sees an essential lifeline. All of them are right, and that is the problem. Sometimes, in rare moments, the sea returns to its natural state, quiet, vast, and free. No engines, no smoke. And in that silence, it feels like the ocean is trying to remind us of something. Orcas is more than a place. It is a question of values, economic growth versus planetary sustainability. We may avoid the question, but we cannot escape its consequences. The sun sets over the Strait of Hormuz. Ships keep moving. The sea remains, sustaining the world while being pushed to its limits. The question is not whether we can protect the ocean, but whether we will choose to before it is too late. On the world map, there is a narrow strip of water less than 33 kilometers wide, so small it is easy to overlook. Yet every day, 30% of the world's oil passes through here. It is called the lifeline of civilization. Every day, around 21 million barrels of oil silently pass through here, carried by massive tankers longer than 3 football fields. They come from the oil fields of Arabia and travel to every corner of the world. There is no alternative route. The Strait of Hormuz lies between Iran and the Arabian Peninsula, a single gateway connecting the Persian Gulf to the Indian Ocean. Its full width is 33 kilometers, but the actual shipping lanes are only about 3 kilometers each way. It is one of the most closely monitored geographic spaces on Earth. Thousands of years ago, Arab traders sailed these waters, carrying spices, pearls, and silk to India. Hormuz was once an independent trading empire where sea routes converged. Its role has changed, but its importance has never diminished. The human body can survive weeks without food and days without water, but only minutes without breathing. The global economy is the same. It can endure many shocks, but it cannot survive if Hormuz is closed. That is why this place is called the throat of the world. "21 million barrels of oil. That is what the Strait of Hormuz must digest every single day. If poured into Olympic swimming pools, it would fill over 30,000 of them. No other oil transit route on Earth comes close to this scale. China is the world's largest oil importer, and much of it must pass through Hormuz. Every factory running, every car moving, every building being heated in China is tied to this narrow stretch of water. It is a geographic dependency Beijing has never been comfortable with. Japan imports over 90% of its oil through Hormuz. With no significant domestic energy and no pipeline alternatives, it relies entirely on tankers and a single strait.